Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Gerald Thompson says that some countries may come out of the pandemic and experience an epidemic this year, but he is uncertain about SVG's position due to its low vaccination rate. Dr. Thompson said his analysis of the pandemic on SVG thus far is not as severe and hard hit like other countries, but it is still impactful, and he can only remain hopeful SVG can get out of the pandemic soon.
I have to admit, because of our vaccination rate, even though it has picked up, the amount of people who are unvaccinated in any country, the number of persons who are unvaccinated leaves those persons vulnerable to a new infection. And so if the pandemic subsides in countries that have high vaccination rates, then you can expect that countries that only have moderate vaccination rates in the 35-40 percentile rate, that they then have a good 50-60% of their people still unvaccinated and vulnerable to infection, and they are vulnerable to the epidemic continuation that we will see. So as a pandemic may subside sometime later this year, I expect St. Vincent may still be vulnerable, and therefore the economic woes and the other health issues that we may continue to face as a result.
Just over 26,000 people in SVG are vaccinated, and according to the infectious disease specialist and advisor to the COVID-19 task force, the unvaccinated puts the country in a vulnerable position, which is not encouraging for a positive outlook.
Well, sadly, a number of African countries have the lowest vaccination rates in the world, on the globe. And it's a mixture of access to the medication, and their large populations, and at the same time there's a high level of superstition and hesitancy. And in countries that have a lot of ethnic minorities, you will find that the minorities will be suspicious that the majority grouping is trying to do something to them, and you will find that there's going to be persistent higher levels of hesitancy. They will take some time to come out of the pandemic.
Addressing the issue of vaccine hesitancy, Dr. Thompson said that it is unfortunate that SVG falls in the lowest of countries behind with vaccination, and listed some of the driving forces behind this problem.
You may think that things have subsided and things are okay. People stop wearing masks, they'll lower their guards, and then bang, a new outbreak, forcing everybody to repeat all the things that they've done before. And this is going to be something of a trend. We will see continued waves for a while, but I think they're going to get smaller and shorter, and hopefully no other new variant emerges on top of what we've been seeing with the Omicron.
The 2021 Christmas season was reportedly the worst ever for veteran butcher Richard Gibson, who has been in the business for several decades. Gibson told SVGTV News that he was on the verge of closure as it neared Christmas Day, as he could not meet the demands of displeased customers, as there was a meat shortage brought on by different factors.
Just before Christmas, before the meat start releasing, I was on the verge of closing down because I had to turn off my cold room. There was no meat to put it, and the cells run in a cold room. We would no meat inside because electric bill is sky high. And also now I think Pretty Last Act is flawed. It turned out the farmers were stealing from farmers and using the ID to say the farmers, but they were stolen from other farm. So therefore it was very, very chaotic over Christmas, and the customer was taking it out on me, saying that I got the meat in the freezer and I don't want to sell it. But it was the case, like in that case, it was not, I couldn't have a piece of meat for my Christmas. Christmas Eve, after Christmas, Sunday after Christmas, people phoning me for meat and I had no meat to supply them.
Gibson said that he could not get quality meat and could not prepare the special cuts, which is what he is known for, adding that he had to pay exorbitant prices for the meat.
Released whatever cattle I had, so I had no time to prepare all these meat. And at the same time, the farmers knew you were shortage of meat and the prices rocketed. So therefore, some people were charging $18 a pound for mutton. To supply my meat this week here, after Christmas, for £20, a £20 goat, I had to pay over $200 for it. And my profit margin went very low. So I couldn't really pass on the full price to the customers, because it would be very unfair for they think you're a gazumping over Christmas, but it wasn't the case. It was what the farmers were charging extra, and they're not trimming the meat properly. They're leaving all the nasty pieces on the meat. So when they put a higher price, you have to come and trim again. So your purchase price gone sky high again. So it's very, very difficult.
The veteran butcher would like to see the export of meat closely monitored by the authorities.
I am not against exporting. I want to stand for my business have to grow, and the people said we'll be able to get the meat. So once we have a surplus, we should export. So everybody grow economy. And we don't know where the future lies. The future looks very, very dim in my particular business, because I supply quality meat, and a lot of people wanted steak for me from Christmas, and I refused to serve them the quality what I had, because it won't be suitable for steak. So I had to turn down it is suitable for stewing, mince, burgers, but not pot roast. Not pot roast. The lamb, I could have sold about £1,000 on Christmas week of mutton. Nobody had it. I sent people, I said, go along the roadside and you might find a farmer selling a piece of goat at the roadside. That's the only way you can, because I haven't had it, you know.
During a virtual budget consultation discussing the ministry's plans for 2022, Minister of Agriculture Subota Caesar said the ministry will continue with the export of livestock, as he noted the potential which exists for the development of the livestock sector here in SVG and across the region. This year will see the subsuming of the Banana Services Unit in the Ministry of Agriculture under two different programs, the Research and Development Unit and the Agricultural Extension and Advisory Services Unit. This was pointed out by Minister of Finance Camilo Gonzalez during his presentation of the 2022 budget estimates. Minister Gonzalez said the reorganizing of the two units will see the Research and Development Unit, in addition to its critical role in conserving germplasm in the field and at the tissue culture lab, its mandate will be broadened to include roles previously covered by the Banana Services Unit. He said the Extension and Advisory Services Unit will be strengthened and reorganized to improve on the effectiveness of the services it produces by adopting a commodity system approach.
This approach will see registered farmers being selected by a commodity team for focused technical assistance and training based on their main enterprise and willingness to accept and adopt good agricultural practices. There will also be a tree crop commodity team that will focus on rehabilitating and replanting the acreage of damaged trees, the tremendous damage that we've experienced over the course of the La Soufrière explosive eruptions.
The second initiative to be undertaken on the recurrent side of the 2022 estimates will be the establishment of a coastal and river protection unit under the Ministry of Economic Planning.
Years, our development proceeded in ways that were not planned and sometimes unstructured. And as a result, a number of informal settlements developed along riverbanks and floodplains. And in recent times, with the impact of climate change, the rising seas, and the battering that coastal communities have received, and also in the aftermath of the volcanic eruptions, the threat of lahars via the flow of rivers through these developments have significantly heightened the potential for damage and personal injury. The government has been responding to these events after they have occurred, and there are a number of programs, post hoc programs, to deal with these challenges. But we are seeking increasingly to try to ameliorate the impact of these events before they take place.
Minister Gonzalez said the Coastal and River Protection Unit will seek to provide a proactive adaptation approach with the main focus on the monitoring of developments prone to damages associated with coastal erosive events.
Envisage that the works by the Coastal and River Protection Unit will be done in ways that we can try to implement relatively small interventions to protect coastal and river communities before major works become necessary, because these works are proving to be very, very expensive works, and we're hoping that this unit can deal with some of the smaller matters before they blossom into larger events, or to bridge the gap while we seek financing to do major work in this regard.
The 2022 estimates of revenue and expenditure presented in the House of Assembly on December 13th, 2021 amounts to 1.3 billion EC dollars. The 2022 budget presentation, which has been pushed back twice, is scheduled for Monday, January 10th, 2022. 9 Mornings 2021 has exceeded the expectations of the National 9 Mornings Committee in all areas of the festival. The 9 Mornings Festival, held at the Victoria Park this year, was sanctioned by the Ministry of Health as a vaccinated event under strict guidelines. Chairman of the National 9 Mornings Committee, Orandi Bomani Charles told SVGTV News that though the turnout was not like previous years, they are satisfied with the support received from people who came to the Victoria Park and those who view the activities online.
Three main objectives that we tried to set, which was to promote the safety, health and safety, all the COVID protocols for the Christmas season, for the festival, to occupy the virtual space with 9 Mornings content, hence the streaming and the broadcast of the festival. And I think we exceeded our expectations in terms of views that we were able to get for each of the mornings. And the 3, to continue with the lighting of the communities. And we want to thank all of the organizations that came on board with us, the rural community organizations that came on board with us to light up their communities despite the circumstances. So those were the 3 main objectives that we set in our proposal that we took to the Ministry of Culture, to the Ministry of Health, the Cabinet, and we're satisfied that we were able to meet those objectives.
According to Charles, interest in the lighting up competitions remained the same, and pointed out that there were more houses lit up during the season than previous years.
Most of the major rural communities participated. We might have had a slight fall off, maybe 4 or 5 communities that didn't participate, but that tracks with the general fluctuation over the years. So on average, I would say we maintained a healthy level of participation in terms of the lighting up in the communities this year. and we in fact had a few new additions in terms of some gardens and definitely some homes, private homes that registered to compete this year. So so I would say that the level of participation regarding the lighting held relatively steady.
No 9 Mornings activities were held in communities as is customary in light of the pandemic. Charles was, however, in full praise of the overall win of the National Lighting Up competitions, Point Village, which is in the red zone and was affected by the eruption of La Sofrea volcano.
I want to speak on behalf of the judges. The judges, they had a 3-day period to travel St. Vincent and the Grenadines and assess the communities, gardens, homes that registered to be part of the competition. And they assessed that point was most impressive. And, you know, I think that's heartening given what that community in particular had been through this year. And knowing the level of creativity, I'm not surprised that they were able to make a good showing again this year. They're extremely proud people and very committed and very creative, you know. So we congratulate them for their victory this year, making it our 9th consecutive, which is quite impressive.
The 9 Mornings prize-giving ceremony is yet to be announced. However, the committee is hopeful it can be held later this month or early next month. Winner for the Best Lit Private Home in the National Christmas Lighting Competition, Jimmy Samuel, is happy that after 6 years he regained the title. Today, a relaxed Samuel was at home sorting out the lights used to decorate his property for the Christmas season, some of which may have to be discarded. Samuel said that he was not expecting much from the 2021 competition as he was not keen in participating. He said he was informed of his first place position by his wife, and ever since, congratulatory messages have been pouring in.
I started to get called all through the day. I was power washing here, and I couldn't even get a chance. Every minute the phone ring, all day. From all about, everybody calling, congrats. From America, I get one from England, from America, one from Canada. I said, well, these far places. It's a good feeling, but I could tell anybody that put up light, they have very hard work to do. What are me and who? And they're not cheap. Anybody you see light up the home like me, Mr. Silver, Tongue Hill, and all about, we spend money. We spend money. But then, the 9 Mornings still thank them, they give us something back.
Samuel said that he does not enter the competition for money, but for the people. He anticipates a high electricity bill, but he concurs, once you burn light, you have to pay for it, which he does not mind.
The bills is there and they have to be paid. And you know, you make bill, you have to pay them. So I don't really worry myself too much. Like I win, I'll be able to pay my light bill. This morning I sent $600 a day. I don't know how much is the light bill, but I give her $600 to go and pay. It wouldn't be that. It used to be a lot, but somehow or the other, it cut down a bit. But it's a good feeling, and the amount of people come and go, and come and go. Some come and say they want to see the house that won. And they come. They was very satisfied.
The elderly man said that he is unsure about the future as the task of lighting up his property for the Christmas season requires a dedication and commitment.
I will decide on my friends and family what I'm going to do. I am not making any decision what I'm going to do because it is hard on me now. I'm an old man and still doing this for the love of the people. The people love it, and I enjoy doing it.
So you
for
still like
fun. I do this thing all the years for fun. Win or not, it'll be fun for the people. And I have a good feelings about that. People come, they sit down all about and whatsoever. I buy the drinks, you get the drinks free and everything.
And Chairman of the National Nine Mornings Committee, Orandi Bomani Charles, congratulated Samuel and all the winners in the various categories of the 2021 lighting competition.
The judges went another way. The year before, in Mr. Samuel's case, this year they thought that he did enough to deserve to win this year. So we're very happy for him, and we hope that he continues. I think he's a staple in that particular community of Raylan Hill in terms of his contribution to the lighting of the community, utilizing his private home. He opens it to the general public, although he would have had to curtail that this year given the circumstances. But understanding the situation, he came on board, and he was adjudged the winner.